Welcome to Focus on the Candidates. I'm Cynthia Pula. My guest today is Manny Chevrolet, and he is running for mayor in the city of New Orleans. So tell us a little bit about your background, why you decided to run for mayor, and you know, I think I mean, New Orleans, it must be fun to run for mayor in New Orleans.
It can be. It can be a real blast. Going back, I'm originally from Los Angeles and was in the entertainment business for quite a few years, a couple of decades, and I kind of got burnt out, started having problems. So I decided to leave Los Angeles, and I had a brother who was living here. He's a seaman. And I came to stay at his house, but he wasn't here. He was out at sea somewhere. So I stayed at his house, thought I'd be here for a few weeks, a few months, and now it's 25 years later,
Wow.
and met a gal, got married, have a kid now. And that's it. I'd like to go back to Los Angeles, but I don't think I can afford it.
So w- you were in the entertainment industry. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, growing up in West Los Angeles, I went to a couple of fluent public schools. My high school had a lot of kids of actresses and actors and people who were in the studio system, producers and writers. I had a lot of friends whose parents were in the business,
Mm,
and I kind of gravitated, made a lot of good friends, and I wanted to, like a lot of people in LA are, I wanted to act, I wanted to be an actor,
mm,
but I didn't. That didn't really pan out well for me. But the fall after I graduated high school. A friend of mine whose father is Buddy Mora, who's Woody Allen's agent.
mm,
He called me and said, "Listen, there's a new show happening, and they need help. And this is when cable and video was just exploding in the early '80s." And so I said, "Sure." And I went and I met these people on location. They said, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm Manny," and they said, so basically I started as a runner, a gopher.
mm,
And the show I was on was a show on HBO. HBO was still had happened already. And the show was called Not Necessarily the News. And it was kind of one of your first political parody shows. It was based on a show in England called Not the 9 o'clock News. And I got on that show and it was a hit. And from there, I moved up the ladder. I went from being, a gopher to location manager, scout, location scout, segment producer, all that kind of stuff. And I was only like 20 years old.
wow.
And so I worked at Sunset Gower Studio, which is a block away from the Hollywood Palladium. And if you look up Gower towards Sunset, you can see the Hollywood sign. It's that close. And so I did that for pretty much all the '80s. I worked constantly, and I was a young guy, and the money was good. They work your tail off because you go on location. You're on location from 5 in the morning till 10 at night, and then you got to be back.
That's a long day.
Yeah, it's a long day, and then you got to be back to the next day. But you get these breaks. You get like you work for 3 months, and then you get a month off. Now, in
Mm,
that month off, you could get on a music video or work on another show if you wanted to. Or you could
mm.
just take the month off and catch up on sleep and family and stuff like that. So
It-
yeah, I did that, and then the '90s rolled around, and I was still doing it, and I started picking up some bad habits. So I quit the business, bounced around, and ended up here in 2000. I came here Halloween night 2000.
Wow. So, when you were in Hollywood, who was the most colorful character that we all know that you met?
Oh gosh. Well, most colorful character. I met a lot of rock stars who were colorful. Uh,
Oh, like who?
like Joe Strummer from The Clash. We actually got to be friends, and I actually stayed at his place in London in 1986. Um, Weird Al Yankovic, another guy that I met through a friend who did a movie with him, and that guy was hilarious, hilarious off the set. He used to leave on my friend's answering machine. He would leave like these 30-minute messages, just talking, conversation, just saying, "Hey," you know. So he was kind of a hoot. And let's see, I just there's all sorts. I mean, more will come, I guess. But I also was at the age where the punk rock scene in LA was exploding big time, and I was friends with a lot of the bands like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I was good friends with, and well, Flea, there's a crazy character right there. He's out of control most of the time, and other bands like Fishbone, things like that. So yeah, a lot of crazy characters, and one of the strangest people I've ever met, and he was a very good friend. He was my best friend for the longest time, was this actor named Dick Rude. Now, Dick Rude was got a start in the movie Repo Man,
Okay.
and he also helped write a lot of Repo Man. And he lived up to that name, Dick Rude. If you give yourself that name, you gotta back it up. There's this very bizarre, very bizarre scenes in life with that guy. But yeah, he went on. He's a big master of craft, a woodsman, woodworker now. I haven't spoken to him in years.
So then you relocated to
In
uh,
New
Louisiana,
Orleans. Yeah,
right?
New Orleans. I came to New Orleans.
And so how soon after you were in New Orleans did you decide to jump into the political arena?
Well, I in the 80s and 90s, I'd come to New Orleans for Mardi Gras and Jazz Fest, and I got a feel for the city then. And it's had that reputation, political reputation forever. And I was sitting at a bar with some new friends that I'd made, and I was reading the local paper and reading about just this corruption at City Hall. And I said, gee, I should run for mayor. God. And all the guys at the bar said, you should run. And I decided with the help of my girlfriend, now wife, we got some money and we, qualified to run for mayor that year. And I came up with a great slogan, which got me a lot of attention because no one had ever heard of me. And that slogan was a troubled man for troubled times. And people, I mean, the press loved it. So I did a lot of press and radio and TV on that first election. And that first election, the incumbent, who was the mayor, Mark Morial, he couldn't run anymore because he'd done his 2 terms. So the field was wide open. So there was about, I think, 16 or 18 candidates in 2002 that ran for mayor.
Mhm.
And it was a lot of fun, and we actually, my wife and I, we documented the whole thing, because you're invited to forums and debates, and you get on TV and you go on the radio, and she'd follow me around with a camera, and we documented the whole thing, and about 3 or 4 years later, we actually released this mockumentary, as you can say, of the campaign. It was called "Giving It to the People." Manny Chevrolet runs for mayor. And that did okay. But that election was wide open, and the winner became Ray Nagin, who was a businessman. Ray Nagin won, and he was golden there for a while. People really, really liked him. And I don't know what happens to these candidates, but that you get reelected, and all of a sudden you become crooked. You know, Katrina hit.
Mm.
He came back he won the second term. And all of a sudden, he just became a crook. And I don't know what it does, but that office seems to do that in that second term, especially.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you you've been involved in City Hall for a number of years, right?
Hmm. Yeah. Well, Yeah, when you run, I'm a working stiff. I'm not a career politician. I do have a day job. I work at the Tulane University here. I work in the student center as a textbook manager. I've been doing that
Oh.
for about 15 years now. So and I haven't always been hands-on as far as, keeping track of what's going on in City Hall. I just know, I think I told you this before, this is my fifth time running now, and I told you this before. The same issues that were plaguing the city 25 years ago are the same issues today. So nothing's changed. And that's what I keep campaigning on, is that nothing changed.
So when you do campaign on that particular issue, what do the people say? What does the press say?
Well,
How responsive are they?
well, I think they're expecting, since that first couple of campaigns, they're expecting more humor from me than straight answers,
Okay.
which hurts me in a way to get my message across, but I'm good at it. So I'll try to answer a question. Like just recently, I went to a forum over here in the Ninth Ward, and I answered a question as best of my ability, knowledge, but I also try to put humor to it. You got to remember, Cynthia, this is a grassroots operation. It always has been. I don't have any money. I can't buy airtime on TV or radio. I have to just go around and try to go to as many as these debates and forums that I'm invited to. Now, it used to be a lot easier to go to these forums. They would welcome all the candidates in. But now, the last two elections, the people who are holding these forums, like a local network, the CBS affiliate or whoever, they don't want 19 candidates in their studio. So they'll pick the top three who are polling the best,
Mhm.
and they'll let them go at it, and then we're left out. So that's also a problem to try to get the word out. Just last night, I spent 4 hours going around the city, putting up these signs you see behind me. See that sign that's behind Manny Chevrolet for mayor? Now, those are left over from previous elections, and I had to get some more for this election. And I don't know if you can see it, but the Y in mayor is a martini glass with a couple of olives in it.
Cute.
I could bring it and show up maybe later. But so that's the humor of it.
Right.
So the problem I have with a lot of the stuff that I've done over the years, like yard signs or bumper stickers, is that I'll put yard signs out on public spaces and people love them so much, they take them. They take them. So, I can't get any advertisement because people think they're so funny that they'll take them and put them in their garage or their whatever playroom.
So in all of your years of doing this, what have you learned about the role of money in politics?
Oh, it's number one. Without money, you can't get anywhere. In
Mm.
fact, the front runner of this election was 3 months ago. They said that she had over $1 million in her fund.
Uh,
The guy who's running second to her has only $500,000. And the guy who's polling third has half of that. And I have zero. I don't have any money. And there's other
mhm.
candidates who are running and they're spending out of pocket. They're not getting campaign contributions. They're spending, and I'm too broke. I can't afford to spend out of pocket. I just can't, you
Mhm.
know. Another thing is down here, I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but depending on what party you run on, costs more. Let's say if you're a Republican, to qualify, it costs you like $750 to get on the ballot. If you're a Democrat, it's the same price. But if you're an independent or no party affiliation, it's half that cost. But so that's why people like me and other guys who are kind of grassroots go for the independent party because it's cheaper to get on the ballot that way. But if you went as a Democrat or Republican, you might be able to get some help from those parties. And I'm sure that works the way in every city. But
Mhm.
yeah.
The role of media. What media have you been getting?
Well, it used to be, it's not so much anymore. Like the first couple of times I ran, it's like the print media has to give everyone equal access. They have to, let's say if there's 15 candidates, they have to interview all 15. Now, television media doesn't have to do that if they don't want to. They can focus on the three or four people who are polling the best. But now, with the social media the way it is, with everything being done on this little device that you can, the phone and stuff like that,
Right.
it's becoming more and more. Um, I guess it's better in some ways. It's polluted in some ways. I mean, how did you hear about me?
Looking at a newsletter and your name come up, but so I went to Ballotpedia. I checked
Uh-huh.
it out. I
Uh-huh.
found your contact information and I contacted you.
See, that couldn't have happened 25 years ago.
Right.
Couldn't have done that. But it plays, I mean, without the media, even the Instagram, the whatever they call that, the Facebook and all that kind of stuff. That stuff is helpful in many ways if you can control it. Now, like I said, I have my wife helps me out, and I have a friend of mine who helps me out. But they both have day jobs too and stuff like that. So basically, my campaign staff is me.
Okay.
That's it. I'm the one who answers. I answer all the emails that I get sent. I answer all the phone calls I get sent. I do that. And sometimes it's hard to keep up because one thing I'm sure other people have told you on this show, once you qualify for a certain office, be it a mayor, council, whatever, all of a sudden you're inundated with every emails from so many organizations that you never heard of before, but they want to know where you stand on this issue or this issue. And every one of them has a questionnaire. And so it takes a lot of time sometimes to just sit and do question after question after question after. And some of these organizations, their questionnaire might be 5 questions, but then there's some that are like 50 questions.
Mhm.
And it just takes, and like, I'm not always on top of what's going on for that certain issue. So there's times when I just say, I don't know. I'll just answer and say, I don't know, but I'll do what I can. I'll do my best to my ability. That's it.
So, what unique qualities do you bring to the table?
Well, I'm different. That's just since the first election. I'm different. I'm honest. I've said this before. With me, you're going to get pure honesty, not like these career politicians or these wealthy businessmen who run, because I don't have anyone to pay off. You'll get full transparency with me because I have no one to pay off. I don't have any friends to pay off. In fact, I really don't have any friends at all.
Okay.
So that's a unique quality.
Right. So, I'd like your opinion on all of the hate and division in this country and what we should do about it.
Well, I really think that it all started with these little phones that you could do
Really?
anything with. Yes, I think these little phones, I don't have mine with me right now, but these phones are good for some things, but it gives too many people a voice. And sometimes that's not good. And you can say anything you want on this, and you can lie on this. And that's the problem. And what's the hate that's going on is not only just the president we have right now, who basically spends his whole 24/7 inciting hate. It's also people who live in rural towns or the big cities who now all think they're right and you're wrong. They don't want to come to the table and just talk things over. They don't want to, no one wants to do that because with this little device, everyone thinks they're right. And that's really bad in some ways.
Hmm. What makes you think it's the phone?
Well, it's just the whole social networking of it all. The internet itself has
Okay.
given people get to go and see someone on the other side of the world talking about this and this and this, and that person could be some kind of crazy nut who's starting a cult, and someone buys into it, and then they start doing that rhetoric in this country. I mean, we could go on this issue forever about the hate. It's just going to happen, and it's happening now until we wake up and realize that, hey, this has got to stop.
Do you think of politics as theater?
To some extent, yeah, I do. I also think politics in my lifetime at least, has always been, how do I want to say this? Has always been trying to be for the good of the people. But at times that, I think at times that it is theater because you get people who don't really know what they're doing or talking about, and you see that a lot lately. But for some reason, people are, gravitating to them. So it is a lot of theater where there is a lot of play going on.
Mm. Last question. If your fairy godmother came down to see you today, handed you her magic wand, and says, "Take my wand, you have one wish to make this world a better place," what would that wish be?
I would think, just like the earlier question, stop the hate. I wish the hate we can get rid of hate and learn to love.
Okay. You sound like you're from the 60s.
Well, I'm in my 60s. I had two older siblings who were hippies. Um, I came from a family. You thought I was from, like, I could be a New Yorker when we were talking earlier, but I'm from Los Angeles. I had a Mexican mother who was wild and crazy. I had an Italian dad
Oh
who
boy.
was, so you got those two mixed together and bang. So there was always a lot of love in the house. A lot of, typical yelling and stuff like that families do with five kids and stuff.
Mhm.
But, not a day went by where I didn't get up and kiss my mom and dad, hello, good morning or good night. There was a lot of kissing and hugging in our family.
Mhm.
And that's something I think I tried to bring to my family.
So, you're running. If somebody wants to help you, give you donations, volunteer, how could they do so?
Um, well, there's only 1 week left to go because the election's a week from tomorrow.
Okay.
Um, they could, if they want, send donations, and people who have given me a few bucks, I've sent them a bumper sticker. People from around the country.
Okay.
I do this podcast. I've been doing a podcast for the last 5, 6 years called the Troubled Men Podcast.
Okay.
And I do it with a friend of mine here who's a local musician. We have local artists, we've had local politicians, we've had writers, performers, all sorts of people on the show. And we do it from the world's greatest dive bar, Snake and Jake's. So if they want to Google Snake and Jake's New Orleans, they can find the address and send me to that address because I'll get that mail there.
What's the most fun part about Mardi Gras?
Oh God. Well, it used to be for me, it used to just be the having being with all your friends and just having a good time. I'm not much of a, I used to be excited about the parades, but to me, it's like you've seen one, you've seen them all. But actually, I think because it's 2 weeks, it's like 2.5 weeks of just parades and street line,
And
second
getting
line
drunk?
getting drunk. So that's always fun part, and the food's always great to have.
Mhm.
What was the funnest for me, to be honest with you, was taking our daughter to see parades. That was a lot of fun
Uh-huh.
because you've got a little 5, 6 year old girl, and she's trying to get beads, and there's women who are showing their boobs, and there's guys guys dressed up as women are all these crazy outfits, and this 5 year old is just absorbing it all in. So that was a lot of fun.
Mhm. So good luck on the election.
Thank you very
Are
much.
you nervous?
Nah, nah. I used to go out on election day. I'd find someone who has a convertible, and we would drive around the city, and I'd go out with a bullhorn and say, "Vote Manny Chevrolet," and I'd scream at people and stuff, and make jokes and all that. And that used to be a lot of fun. But last election, I didn't do it because I didn't know anyone with a convertible. This election, I
It
might
had to
go.
be a Chevrolet, though, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh no, no way I'm doing a Dodge anymore. No way. Um, so yeah, yeah, we're gonna have fun with it. We'll probably the last couple elections, the best part has been the return part of it. The votes coming in and stuff, and that's always fun to go to a bar and just watch the returns come in. And once you see like one person voted for you, it's like yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, the first election I got out of 18 candidates, I got like something like 300 votes. But then
Uh-huh.
again, it's funny, Cynthia, after that election, I got 300 votes out of 15 candidates or whatever. I must have met about 5,000 people who said they voted for me. It's like, really?
Wow.
Really? I voted for you, man. No, you didn't. You didn't vote for me. Yeah, I did. No, you didn't. And that I get that a lot. But actually, last election in 2020, um, we did our best. We got almost 1,000 votes,
Good.
and that was only with about 8 candidates who ran.
And do you think that your candidacy has made an impact on the city?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because this city loves the kind of stuff that I've done.
Oh,
Just bringing the humor to it all and stuff like that. Because I think they know nothing's going to change here. Nothing's going to change. You're going to have the same problems you always have. But hopefully some of the stuff will get fixed, hopefully. Because we've had candidates who have made change. They haven't won, but they have made change. Like we had about 3 elections ago, there was this young man who was in a wheelchair, and he ran only on one issue, and the issue was why aren't the streetcars here handicap friendly?
wow.
And you know what? He didn't win, but that mayor who did win got the streetcars handicap friendly.
Great.
So there's our stories like that, which are great.
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know. So, and in fact, I think my wife was telling me back in the 70s, there was a guy who ran, and his one issue was, why don't we have a gorilla in the zoo, the New Orleans Zoo? Why, that was his whole issue back in the 70s. And you know what? That mayor then got a gorilla in the zoo.
Really? That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So things can happen. Good things.
Right. So, Manny, good luck,
Thank
you
you.
know, on election day. You've been listening to, I gotta ask you, I've been thinking about this all day.
Well,
Is Manny Chevrolet your real name?
yeah, I have my other name is Bruno, Manny Chevrolet Bruno, but
Okay.
Manny Chevrolet is like, I've done movie parts over the years and stuff. And in the credits, you'll see, it won't say Manny Bruno, it'll say Manny Chevrolet because that's a legal stage name that I have.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So
people
you,
ask me where I got, how I came up with it. And I just say, I won it in a poker game.
oh, funny.
That's what I tell them.
So you've been listening to Manny Chevrolet. I'm Cynthia Pooler. This is Focus on the Candidates. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Manny, give me a call next week on the day after the election and
Well,
let me know how you did.
great. I will. Definitely. I will do that. Thank you very much, Cynthia. And
Okay,
subscribe. This is a great channel. Subscribe.
thank you.
All right. Take
So
care.
everybody, have a great day.
Bye bye.